Hey, g'day, Josh here for Physique Essentials. I hope you're well. I wanted to jump on and film this special training to be able to, I'm not going to say hack, we're going to shortcut the process in regards to you being able to create the health, fitness, physique results that you want. So if you're feeling, or if you have been feeling, stuck, frustrated, ready to quit, I want to share with you the methodology that my guys use to get back into shape for the last time and create that dream physique. Now, one of the things I've been noticing, not just in terms of the health and fitness industry, but more so the entire coaching industry. So what I see on my socials and through my networks is not just what other coaches do, like in terms of health and fitness, but the whole business scope, you know what I mean? So in terms of marketing coaches and business coaches and all that sort of stuff. And a lot of the times they use a very similar plan methodology that I use, like a 5-step training. So I wanted to share where that comes from me, the reasons why I use it, and then some of the other things that I've been seeing that's out there kind of leaves me a little bit disillusioned, and also too going to break down what my processes are and how it can help you. So Quick Soldiers 5. So I've been in the health and fitness industry for the last 20 years, worked with hundreds, if not thousands of clients directly. And during that time, like there's a lot of information, there's a lot of stuff I've been able to gather, a lot of things I've learned from those clients, and to be able to sit and present it to you as a number of steps to follow, all on one hand, it makes it very simple. It makes it very straightforward. It gives me an opportunity to articulate that message clearly, precisely, and something that you can implement. So I think it's very cool. And it's a strategy that I learned a number of years ago through some coaching that I was doing because I was feeling somewhat stuck. Like I've got all this information in my head. How do I condense it and present it to you so you can implement it? So that's the reasons why I use it. Also, too, on a side note, like when it comes to health and fitness, so if you follow me at all, like you know that I'm very opposed to all the bullshit challenges, you know what I mean? Like the 7-day challenges, the 21-day challenge, the 5-day challenge, the free mini course, and all that sort of stuff. Reason being, it's a time waster. Like if I've got something that I can share with you, say within the next 35, 40 minutes that you are able to implement today, then why would I drag it out over the next week? Now, there are reasons why it happens, why those things are presented. It's got nothing to do with you completing processes or anything like that. It's all about reciprocity for the trainer and things. But let's not get into that. I don't want to focus on what others do. I want to focus more on what I do. And also, too, what I've been noticing on the last couple of days, I've been clicking on some of these posts and different ads and stuff that I see. It's like I want to go down that rabbit hole and see what others are doing. And it leads off really, really well. And then all of a sudden it will be buy my supplement, do this overcomplicated program, this course, whatever. And I just end up shaking my head. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to quickly take you into the abbreviated version of my 5-step plan, which is really a 1-step plan. And I've always used or jokingly said it's like when Morpheus helped Neo realize that he was the one. Once he saw the Matrix, everything changed. And for you, when you get to see how this works in regards to how you can be able to get back into shape, the right type of training, nutrition, all that sort of stuff, but not sacrificing performance, not sacrificing your free time in your life to be able to do this, so you can create sustainability and create routines and systems that work for you. Once you see it, you'll never unsee it. And that's my gift to clients, because again, it's not just about what you're going to do in the next 5-day mini challenge or what you're going to do in the next 12-week program. The goal will be, what are you going to do for the next 30, 40, 50 years of your life? That's the key. And once you see it and how straightforward and simple it really is, it'll change the world. So let me share with you my screen, and I'm going to share with you what I do. All right. So I call this is the 5-step plan, but it really is the 1-step plan. Okay. It is that simple. Now, let me run through it with you. All right. So as I said, it's like Neo. Once he realized he was the one, that was it. The game was changed completely forever. All right. So the very first thing is, step number 1 is you need to take ownership. Now, how I define ownership is simply you drawing the line in the sand and saying, enough is enough. I need to fix this. I'm sick of feeling shitty. I'm sick of feeling stuck. I'm sick of feeling frustrated. I'm sick of my pants not fitting. Whatever the issue and the challenge is, and also too for the length of time, because the reality is most people have not struggled for 3 weeks. They possibly haven't even struggled for 3 months. A lot of the guys I talk to, it's a minimum, anywhere 2, 3, 5, 10 years plus. Some have been 20 years plus. They've struggled so long, it has become their identity. It has become who they are. They know deep down it's not who they are, but it's basically become who they are, where feeling shitty has become normal. It is a familiar feeling, and that is what keeps them stuck and frustrated. And yes, they've bounced from one challenge, one detox, one boot camp, one diet to the other, but because they've never really committed themselves to fixing the problem, to figuring out what's really going on, it's like, as I said, sometimes they simply get scared of success, because what would happen is if I lost the weight, who would I even be? And it would change your entire identity. So unless you are willing to commit to change and taking ownership, you'll never be able to move forward to the second step. Now, the second step is truth, right? So once you take ownership, yes, I've drawn the line in the sand, I want to fix this shit once and for all, you need to figure out what that shit is. So let's just say that if you're carrying an extra 10 kilos of body weight, right? Now, we often think that is a problem, and it's very easy to be sold on that symptom, because all it is a symptom, okay? Something within your lifestyle is out of whack, and it's going to be more than one thing. So it's your consistency of exercise, it's your relationship with food, it's being committed to work and putting all your time into that, and focusing on career and family and a million and one other responsibilities, that your lifestyle itself is not aligned to the goals that you want. Hence why every time that you've gone on a different diet and detox or boot camp or whatever, you lose a little bit of weight. Yes, because that is simply the mechanics of moving more and eating less, but because the underlying problem is still there, it'll always come back. So you need to figure it out. If you are carrying an extra 10 kilos of weight, as I said, that is not the problem. It is the symptom, okay? Figure out what the problem is, all right? Steps 1 and 2. Then we move into the right path, which I call the transformation formula. So a lot of times when guys put their hands up and they go, Josh, I just need a training program and I need a diet. And I'll turn around and I say, listen, it's not the training program or the diet, because if that's all it took, you would have fixed it right now. Again, in that situation, they haven't taken ownership and they haven't discovered the truth. The right diet and training program and the lifestyle that you live is incredibly important, but you need these 2 steps, okay? Everything is bridging until this point. So I want to quickly skip over path. I'm going to come back to it, right? I have to move to the next step, which leads back to the path, and that is time. Now, time you could also call priority. Now, again, you might have made the commitment. You might have discovered the truth. You might be on the right path, or you want to create the right program. But if you're not going to then prioritize yourself and give yourself the time to look after yourself, you have got no chance of being successful. You know what I mean? So again, this all comes down to prioritization. And simply what may have happened is you have prioritized other things throughout your life. So career, family, other responsibilities, sporting commitments. It could be social commitments, like whatever it is. And the priority for you, for your health, has been on the back burner. What you need to do is you need to flip this, and you need to make yourself number one. Now, that doesn't mean nothing else gets a look in. It doesn't mean it's all about you 24 hours a day. It just simply means that your goals and the things that are important to you, i.e. your health, your fitness, your body composition, your confidence, your stamina, your endurance, are no longer so easily going to be ignored or passed away. You know what I mean? What happens? Let's just say you've got a consistent approach to exercise. What happens when you get busy? Oh, I skip training sessions. What happens when you go away? You skip all your nutrition, you forget it and eat like shit. What's if let's just say time builds the essence, or you've got to give up something. What's the very first thing most people give up? They give up themselves. Okay, so you need to absolutely prioritize yourself, and which then leads into step number 5 is consistency. You showing up today and not showing up tomorrow will do nothing. You know what I mean? Let's just say that you might go, I want to achieve this goal in the next, say, 12 weeks. I'm just going to use that date, right? It's the next 12 weeks. If you only show up for the next month, and then for the 8 weeks after that, you do nothing, you'll have no chance of success because you haven't been consistent. And the consistency is just showing up day in, day out. Now, often guys will sit back and go, I've got no motivation. But let me ask you this, right? And this is the example I'll create. It's Monday morning. It's the dead of winter. It's 7 a.m. It's cold. It's rainy. You still get out of bed and go to work. Why? Well, you do that for the promise of the reward, that being getting paid at the end of the week. You're not motivated to do it, but you still get up and get it done. That is consistency. You know what I mean? So you have to be consistent, all right? So ownership and truth will lead you to the path, but time and consistency is what then supports the path. So what is the path? Okay. As I said, the path is the transformation formula. And these are the fundamentals. It all comes down to this. Okay. This is it. This is what it's all about. So let me show you what it is, right? The path, okay? And this is how you can absolutely 100% guarantee your success. It doesn't matter what your goal is. It could be a full body transformation. It could be losing 10 kilos plus. It could just be having a healthy relationship with exercise. It could be sustainability. It could be whatever it is. And again, it's also progressive because the goal that you have today may be completely different to the goals that you have in 6 months' time. Also, what may completely be different is your lifestyle, your requirements, your working conditions, and so forth. All these things interact, right? So with this path, I've just broken it down to like 3 simple steps. It's really easy. So number 1, again, is ownership, but this is ownership on circumstance. So i.e., here I am today. Right now, this is you sitting here, okay? I need to do a snapshot of my lifestyle. I need to summarize what's going on. So not only in terms of body composition, how much weight am I carrying? How do I look? What is my stamina? What is my performance? But then also to what is my lifestyle like? You know, and taking a snapshot. Do I have a partner? Do I fly solo? Do I have 1 kid, 2 kids, no kids, 5 kids? What are the requirements and the obligations at home? Is there eating eating quirks or disorders? Is there things like that? What's my work limits? Like, am I working 20 hours a week, 120 hours a week? Do I have a team? Do I work for someone else? Am I between jobs? Am I on holidays? Am I like? There's so many different things that we need to factor in because all these things are important, right? Let's just say that you're going, I just need a training program. Okay, cool. What's the goal? And you might say, I want to lose 10 kilos. Okay, cool. Do you think there could be a difference in what you could do if you worked 20 hours a week part-time delivering newspapers, let's just say, versus working 120 hours a week, managing a team of 10 and stressed out your eyeballs? Like, do you think there's going to be a difference in what you could do consistently? 100%. You know what I mean? But so often we get caught up to the, tell me how many days a week I need to train. Tell me what my diet's going to look like, but it doesn't factor in all the circumstances that put you in the situation today. And then also too, you need to factor that in because then that will allow you to choose the right things. Now, when I talk about right things, these are your objectives. Now, at the end of the day, there are only 2 simple things that you can control: the way you eat and the way you move. But it's going to be subjective to the lifestyle that you live. And the example I just gave, you know, depending upon if you're working 100 hours or 120 hours a week, is going to have vast differences on your, not only how often you could show up at work, at training, but also too in terms of your recovery abilities, even the type of work that you've got. Let's just say if you're working and say you do sales and you're on the road all day, or you might go away for a few days, that's going to have vastly different influences on your nutritional consistency compared to what you're doing at home. And even if you're at home, if you've got 5 kids who all have, you know, different food quirks versus if you live solo, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many different variables that you need to get real with. So what is going to be the best way for me to train as consistently as possible? So what's going to suit my lifestyle to allow me to hit my goal? What is the best way for me to be able to eat in accordance to my goals and in my lifestyle that best suits me? And then also understanding these are organic. And what I mean by organic is your circumstances could change. You know, you might be hitting deadlines at work at the moment, and that's the reasons why you're pushing 120 hours a week, but it's not what you normally do. You normally work 40 hours a week. So once you get through that busy period and it comes back to normality, you might be able to change different things within your lifestyle. Okay, this is the beauty of it, all right? So you have got complete control. And once you see that control that you've got, as I said, it is like Neo looking at the Matrix. He gets to see the truth. Now, the next part in all of this comes down to outcome. And I believe outcomes need to be twofold. We need to have 2 differing dates. Now, number 1, whenever you've got goals, you need to have a short term, like a short time frame, because what that'll do is create a sense of urgency. If the date is too long, you won't work. So let's just say you say, I want to lose 10 kilos. Cool. When? If you say 12 months, it's too long. You know what I mean? Like, you could literally go on a bender for the next 3 months, put on another 10 kilos of weight, and then still have time to get to your original goal within that 12-month period. Okay. So you want to be able to have a shorter time frame, again, a time frame which is realistic. If you said I want to lose 10 kilos in the next 3.5 weeks, it ain't going to happen. Not safely. It's not going to happen. But if you said 12 weeks, cool, that's possible. So what that's going to do is create a sense of urgency. You're going to want to show up every single day doing your best work. On the flip side, and this is where a lot of people get it wrong, we also need to factor in long-term sustainable outcomes. What's the point of losing 10 kilos in the next 12 weeks if you have not sustained it and continue to improve 12 months and beyond? Okay, so where most guys reach out, look, this is the underlying fact. This is the truth. Losing weight is really, really simple. Okay, you could do anything out there. You could go on a crazy detox diet. You could go train 7 days a week. You could absolutely drive yourself into the ground with that short time frame. You will do it. You can go do a different 8-week challenge at the gym, whatever. You can go do a transformation challenge, whatever, right? You could go do all these things. If it doesn't factor into ownership and the truth, and you just do some crazy ass program, your body will change. And the chances are you've done that before. Now, a guy I often talk about, a client I worked with, Brendan, he'd tried 25 times before fighting me to get in the shape. Every single time that he tried, he lost weight. Every single time he was able to lose a couple of kilos. The problem was the lifestyle was unsustainable and the weight always came back plus some because it was the heaviest he'd been when he reached out to me. You know what I mean? So it's about short and long-term outcomes, a short time frame to create a sense of urgency, and a long-term outcome to be able to make sure it's sustainable. And all of this is summarized in lifestyle. It's all about environment. You know what I mean? And I'll often talk about environment. So your success comes down to the environment in which you live. And I'm not talking about what suburb you live in or what city or state or whatever. It's the internal environment. It's how you live. It's how you show up. It's your consistency with exercise, your relationship with exercise, doing the things that you'd like to do and need to do. It's your relationship with food, having food accountability, knowing what you're eating, knowing when to pull back, knowing when you need to eat like an adult and make some choices. It's just being able to put together a really great lifestyle, one that you enjoy. And in the end, the goals that have eluded you up until this point that have seemed out of reach, they simply materialize because our body, as beautiful and amazing as the human body is, it simply reacts. It's you know, it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's you know, you yin and the yang. You know what I mean? Like if you create I'm just, it's on the tip of my tongue. I just can't think. It's action and reaction. Sorry. So if you create the right action, it will react accordingly. If you create a poor reaction, so you eat like shit, you don't move, you drink too much, you will put on weight. And if you create the right action by having the right relationship with those objectives, so moving well, eating well, performing well at work, loving your family, doing all that sort of stuff, your body will reward you accordingly. So simple. So look, if this is really resonating and you want some help, let's just make a time to chat. So you'll see a link somewhere here. It'll either be, you know, you'll see it on the page somewhere to post, email, wherever. I'll share this everywhere. But if you want to chat and you need some help, let's do that. So basically what we do is we hook up a time to chat. We'll get on the phone for about 45 minutes. We'll talk all things you. And what we're going to do is taking ownership. So getting clear on your current circumstances, what's going on. We're going to talk about your goals, and I'm going to show you how we can piece it together. It's free, no obligation, anything like that. If I could help, it would be, you know, I'd be humbled by it. So hope this helps. Hope this resonates. It is a very simple, straightforward process. And again, you know, my goal isn't to be the first person you've ever worked with. My goal is to be the last person you've ever worked with, because then, as I said, once you've got this skill set, it'll serve you for life. And that's why we're here. So on that note, have an amazing day. You got any questions, reach out. Let's chat. And yeah, we'll go from there. Have an awesome one. See ya.